Hey everyone, Lucas here. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about acceptance, um, or judgments, or judging others, or accepting yourself. Basically, a mix of all of these because they're all very closely intertwined. Um, we're gonna start with talking about accepting others for where they are instead of where they should be. And the reason, well, we'll get to the reason later. But what I mean by this is we have a lot of expectations of other people. We want others to be nice, to be further ahead. We even think that, when people have money or family, there's certain aspects that they also have. Um, so this becomes very apparent with people of success due to the authority bias or the halo effect. We believe that people that have a lot of authority in some sense also have their life together than others. So a very successful person, one that has a good running business, makes a lot of money, they the assumption might be that they have the rest of their life together. They're in a loving relationship, they're working out a lot, they read a lot, they're very smart, they're very put together. And what a lot of us do is we pick up people from where we think they should be instead of where they are. And this becomes a big problem when we go into their mentality and the topic of mental health. So, what I mean by this is you'll see this with comedians a lot, or people that are funny in general. A lot of them use humor to protect themselves. I mean, they're using humor as what's the English word? Like to let off steam, to let off some of their negativity. But inside, they're actually feeling really bad. And when we judge them for the happiness they portray, not what they actually feel inside, we make assumptions. And because of these assumptions, because we pick them up from where they are and try to help them from that place rather than from where they truly are, we kind of ignore and discredit what's going on behind the scenes, which then makes them feel not understood. And the biggest problem about this whole thing is that when you do this to other people, you do this for yourself as well. So, age, for instance, is a really good example. Someone that's 30 years old has different expectations of where they should be in life than someone who's 40 years old or 50 years old or 65 years old. But there's always certain expectations that come into this. And instead of accepting the reality of it, we want to pick ourselves up from where we should be. So, something that I hear a lot with clients is being more productive. Right? As a 30-year-old, I should be at the top of my game. I should be really successful. I should be more productive than I was in high school or college. And what my clients try to do then is they try to pick themselves up from their best level, from the level they think they should be, from their ideal level. And that doesn't work because it basically discredits everything from their ideal level to where they are. Everything in between that they discredit. It's like someone trying to pick up a martial artist from a black belt level when they're just starting out again, when they haven't been practicing martial arts for 20 years. You can't do that. That martial artist, even though they might have been a black belt at some point, will not be stretched enough, will not know enough, will struggle physically, will not have the conditioning to do. And if you try to do the exercises that other black belts do, you'll probably end up killing them. They'll probably be way too exhausted, and their body will move, they'll rip something, right? It just won't work. Mentally speaking, this is the exact same thing that happens. But we always try to pick up people from where we think they should be, or we try to pick ourselves from where we should be. We should be further at this point in our lives. We should be richer at this point in our lives. We should be more disciplined at this point in our lives. We should be happier. We should be more active. We should be fitter. We should be more loving, and so on and so forth. The best example of this is around New Year's. When people realize what they didn't do last year and said, okay, I've tried to go to the gym 1 hour every day for the last 3 years. I should be able to do this now. So instead of making the same resolution that I failed this year again, what I'll do is I'll set up 2 hours every day. That will be my new resolution for this coming year. What an amazing way to create a self-fulfilling prophecy of failure. What an amazing way to shoot yourself in the foot that is. You're not taking the reality into account at that point. What you're doing is saying, hey, I should be at this level, so I'm going to treat myself at this level, and I'm going to ignore everything else, and I'm going to struggle even more. Instead of saying, like, okay, you know what, I didn't make it last year. So apparently where I thought I was, or where I should be, is not the reality of things. So why don't I try it easier? Because apparently I need to take a step back. This is too much. Apparently, clearly. So hopefully that makes sense. Because it's not that easy. It's not that clear cut. If you don't pick others up from where they are, if you don't truly, figure it out, you're going to give them a much harder time and they will not learn as much. Imagine if someone tried to do that to you while you were in 6th grade and they tried to pick you up in 9th grade math. It would all be gibberish. You'd be sitting there staring at the blackboard just going like, why are there suddenly letters in math? What? You wouldn't learn anything. It would take you so long to even figure out some parts that you would already be way behind the game. That's why schools don't do this. I'm not saying schools do a better job, that's not the argument here. We're not getting into that discussion. But what we are getting into is picking yourself up from where you are so that you learn more. When I work with clients, I always try to do that. So what we do is we set up habit sheets, and I don't care what score they get, because it doesn't matter. If they think they should be at a 10 out of 10 because they were before, great. But if the reality is that they're at a 5 out of 10, then that's where we need to start. We'll need to get to a 6 out of 10 first. We need to learn to run and to learn to walk before we can learn to run. Just the way it is. Skipping steps doesn't work. You can maybe breeze through steps if you know how it works, but you can't skip them. Because it's just a step-by-step process. And it's the same way for your discipline. It's the same way for most of these self-improvement things. It's the same way for building muscle, mental or physical muscles. But if you don't do this for other people, if you expect something of other people, it's much more likely that you'll expect something of yourself as well. Right? People of a certain age should be at this level. People of a certain success level should be at this level. People that work out this regularly should be this disciplined, should be this happy. Whatever's in your mind, whatever's anchored in there, if you believe that to be the truth, you'll judge yourself for the same things. And that's not helpful to anyone. What you need to start doing is you need to start accepting the reality of the situation. If you're not where you should be, then you're not where you think you should be. It doesn't matter where you think you should be. It doesn't matter what idealistically you want. The reality is what it is. You have a certain level of discipline. You have a certain level of fitness. You are skinny, muscular as you are. You are as happy as you are. Your job is as amazing as it is, or lack thereof. Life is what it is. What are you going to do from there? How are you going to make it better? This tip, this video is it's a lot for many people because they have to take their ego out of it and realize that their life may not be as amazing as they think it should be. And that it takes a toll on a lot of people. You have to swallow that. You have to swallow your ego and saying like, all right, maybe I'm not at that level. Maybe I need to take a step back so I can take 2 steps forward. That's hard. If you were amazingly productive and super disciplined in high school or in college, it's hard to realize or to accept the fact that now you're not anywhere close to that anymore. That somewhere along the way you lost all of this. Same way if you were really muscular at some point. If you have a really big belly now, that's hard. It's hard to accept. And then when you go to the to work out, to lift some weights, and you can't lift even half of what you used to lift, that sadly is the way it is. And your mentality, your mindset, anything that's in your head, your happiness, your confidence, your discipline is no exception to that. So take a breath. Understand, stop judging, stop trying so hard. Stop pretending you're further than you are. And accept that you might have to take a step back on this. And with that, my dog just came in, so we're gonna end this video here. I hope this gave you something. I hope you're starting to take yourself more from where you are and then, take steps from there. Because that'll overall get you much further in life, much faster. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day.